the joystick with one
no,
button.
no, Taiwan, no.
Yeah.
It is time once again for the main story quest, where the Trinity Bros give you their MMO opinion.
So, I was thinking about this because so many people talk about like controllers being better than mouse and keyboard. We may have had this topic a long time ago on the show. I forget. I'm not remember now. Okay, I should actually write that down as a spreadsheet of all the topics we've had in the past. But I was thinking about this. Okay, there are people who like literally cannot live without a controller, and they play with a controller, and their life is a controller. Then a mouse and keyboard, like There are those like me who play mouse and a keyboard, and controllers like it's like I know, I can't do that. Controllers are two things, right? The fact that we saw that the Nintendo has coming out with their updated N64 controllers, wireless with the shaker, everything. It's like it's got all the modern features today, but it's in the shape and style and stuff like the original N64 controllers. They've also are releasing Sega Genesis controllers too, and you're like, okay, there you go. Okay, so I like mouse and keyboard. It's better for me. I aim better. I shoot better. I'm just used to it. It's a two-hand. I know two hands. I use a controller, right? It's like, I don't know, spread out for me. I can do multiple things at the same time. I can have my hand on a mouse and not on a keyboard. Controller, you can't. You got to hold it both of them. To me, I'm not a controller guy. Okay, so what about you, SirJahzeal? Controller or mouse and keyboard?
I mean, it depends on if the game was designed from the ground up to use either one of those. If it was designed from the ground up to use a controller, then it's going to feel more natural and just have better controls and not have to fiddle around so much. But personally, I'm just so used to using mouse and keyboard at this point, especially with the MMOs. And having the ability to, if you're not in voice chat, to type to each other and whatnot, it's easier. And being able to do hotkeys, set up your own hotkeys and have everything laid out, and being able to multitask, while you're playing your game, being able to alt tab out and look something up or all that, it's just easier with the mouse and keyboard. And of course, being an MMO guy, I got my MMO mouse and everything. So, but if I'm playing something that's a older style of game, yeah, that can still be fun to go back to once in a while. Playing those old PlayStation or Xbox games, or like I said, way back to like well, of course, you and I go way. We go even to the little paddle wheel for Pong and the joystick with one button.
No, Taiwan, no.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more MMO because they have ported Final Fantasy 14 as well as ESO onto controllers now, being consoles. I'm like,
well, there was I don't remember what it was called now, but there was one that. There was a mod for World of Warcraft, and there also was a way to play Guild Wars 2. And I gotta say, Guild Wars 2 played a lot easier on the controller, but I still found myself wanting to go back to. I was just itching to go back to mouse and keyboard again. So MMOs, I don't think it's there yet. Maybe at some point there'll be a game that I could. I don't know about Final Fantasy 14. I think still a mouse and keyboard, honestly.
Well, I definitely think that, especially you mentioned like the design from the ground up, but also the fact that like ESO or even New World is not tab targeting, it's direct combat, and maybe that's where it's better. Tab targeting is like, can you imagine having tab targeting with your controller? You could do it, I suppose, but for me, I know it's just about the fact that I'm just not a controller guy, so.
Yeah.
Oh well. If you're watching this on YouTube, let's what you thought. Are you a controller or mouse and keyboard? And if you are a controller or mouse and keyboard, why? What makes it so special? Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.